Hey y'all, I'm Morgan Byrne. I'm an occupational therapist here at Child's Play Therapy Center, and today we're going to practice tying our shoes. So I like to break down shoe tying into several steps to try and break down the daunting task of shoe tying for kids. A lot of times they're just so overwhelmed because it is pretty complicated, so if you break it down step by step, it kind of helps decrease the anxiety over the whole thing. So my first step that I do is I have my kids grab both of their shoelaces, lay them down towards them to make an X, just like this. And then I'll have them start at the shoe, trace their fingers along until where they meet to see which lace ended up on top. The one that's on top goes under and through the hole to pull tight, just like this. I find that using two-tone shoelaces like this kind of really helps with the visual piece of it, because you can kind of give more cues that the red shoelace was on top, so they kind of get the process a little bit more. A lot of times that's the first step that we'll work on, and that's just what we'll do for that day today. And when kids meet a step, I want them to be able to do it 5 times by themselves without any kind of cues from me. And when they do it 5 times completely independently, I call them master experts of the step to try and help boost their confidence with everything. So the next step that we work on is I have kids start with their dominant hand side, which mine's my right hand, and I'll have them trace along that shoelace to the middle point, have them pinch it with their 2 fingers, and bring it straight to the bottom where you made your knot to make a loop, just like this. This step can be pretty hard for kids, so it kind of takes a little bit longer for them to pick up, but we'll just kind of go through with repetition of a lot of it, go into the middle, pinching it, bringing it to the bottom to make a loop. This next step is a little bit difficult too, so I want them to grab their lace, bring it around, and have it point towards them, and then put it down. My kids' next inclination most times is to pick up the tail of the shoelace, what I like to call it, and push it through the hole. To discourage them from grabbing the ends of the shoelaces like this, I say that we don't grab the tails of our shoelaces just like we don't grab and pull on the tails of our dogs and our cats. So we leave the tails alone. Because what I want them to do is push the shoelace that's next to the hole, what I call their buddy, through the hole to make that loop. And then when they have their 2 loops, they pull it tight to make sure that there are enough tails at the end, just like this. And just breaking down the whole task into several steps depending on how well you think the kid is going really kind of helps break down the daunting task of shoe tying and makes it a little less overwhelming for them. So just doing, 1 step at a time, really getting that step down before you move on to the next one is the best thing that you can kind of do to make this the less frustrating for everyone involved. So that's just how you tie your shoes.